It'll warm up over the next couple of days. Here in Doha, temperatures at around 24 Celsius. Plenty of sunshine across a good part of the Arabian Peninsula. And then we're getting up to 27 Celsius as we go on into Monday. So not looking too bad. Similar values there for Riyadh and also into Abu Dhabi. What wet weather we do have is a little further north, making its way across central parts of Iraq, eventually pushing across into Iran. A little bit of wet weather also affecting South Asia at the moment. There will be some, a wintry mix up towards the far north. Some rain, sleet and snow over the higher ground. Come down into Orissa, northern parts of Andhra Pradesh, you could see some showers. I think we may well see some showers into southern parts of Sri Lanka. And I think for the cricket, well, here, that could come into play over the next day or two. But elsewhere, I think Chennai, fine and dry for the game taking place here through the course of Sunday. Come down into South Africa, and of course, all eyes across a good part of southern Africa, particularly into Madagascar, where we have what remains of tropical cyclone Bengiza. More flooding rains to come for a good part of Madagascar, and some particularly wet weather once again coming into northern parts and also affecting Mozambique and Tanzania. Heavy showers continue through the Amazon basin, with more flooding rains for southeastern Brazil.
On Counting the Cost, food. Why does it cost so much and how many more millions are being priced out of the basics? We'll hear directly from the World Bank for its take on an ongoing crisis. Plus big business, as Nokia and Microsoft join forces, we assess the tech market. Counting the Cost at this time on Al Jazeera.
He's taken stolen goods and he's now dumping them onto the world without any sort of consideration for consequences.
From people making the news.
If the North will be saved a lot of trouble, I think it is important that they should come together.
To those it affects.
We do accept that there was very bad mistakes made in our banking area.
Behind the headlines.
Most South Koreans are not interested in reunification.
Is the inside story. At this time on Al Jazeera.
Violence spreads in Libya. Witnesses speak of a massacre in Benghazi. You're watching Al Jazeera live from Doha. I am Emiko Omolu, also on the programme. In Bahrain, demonstrators take back protest epicenter as the government pulls back its troops. Dozens wounded as Algerian riot police clash with anti-government protesters. And the world's biggest economies reach a last-minute deal aimed at preventing a repeat of the 2008 financial crisis. An uprising in Libya against the 42-year rule of Muammar Gaddafi appears to be widening. Anti-government protesters have told Al Jazeera of what they call a massacre in the town of Benghazi, with tanks and snipers firing on demonstrators. Most of the violence over the last few days has centered around Libya's second biggest city. But bloody clashes have also taken place in towns across the east. And now we're getting reports of fighting in the western city of Nalut and in the capital Tripoli. We'll hear from witnesses inside Libya after this report from Omar Al-Saleh.
Thousands gather near Al-Bayda main mosque in northeastern Libya, a city rocked by days of anti-Gaddafi protests and a scene of death and violent clashes. Chanting, "There is no God but Allah," mourners carry in a coffin a dead protester. And this is what they faced. 50mm caliber bullet cases scattered on this field. Not far away, a security building seems to be set on fire, falling into the hands of angry residents. Some are arming themselves. This man walking away with a helmet and what appears to be an artillery round. In other parts of Al-Bayda, the scene is similar. More chaos and the sound of live fire echoing. Anti-Gaddafi graffiti sprayed on walls and a voice through a loudspeaker saying, "There is no state here." Reports of casualties running high and constantly rising. The city's hospital seems overwhelmed. In the morgue, the unlucky ones are waiting to be buried. and more are still coming. In nearby Benghazi, an ongoing battle, the sound of bullets and more lives lost. This man looks at his killed relative. The man murmurs he was not armed. More gunshots as clouds overshadow the sky. Also from Benghazi, this video, which we cannot independently verify, claims to show what protesters say is an African mercenary hired by the Libyan regime to attack demonstrators. But on Libyan state television, a different picture. No mention of anti-government protests. Instead, supporters of the Libyan leader brought out onto the streets of the capital, Tripoli. Information from Libya is hard to get, with communications and the internet disrupted. But what's almost certain, Libya is expecting more unrest in the days to come. Omar Saleh, AlJazeera.
Well, earlier we spoke to a resident in the western city of Nalut. He says protests have spread there too.
A major protest is taking place now, and clashes have erupted between the residents and the security forces. Cars belonging to the security and intelligence people are seen roaming around. May God have mercy on us. You can hear live gunfire. The situation in Nalut is as follows. Last night, a group of people went out on the street, though the young people were afraid, and there were threats that an army brigade nearby, about 30 kilometers away, will storm the town if we rose up. But tonight, the young people came out in force. We can now see security forces on the streets. They are trying to clash with the youth, and they are shooting at them with live ammunition. 2 government buildings and posters of Gaddafi have been burned down, even his so-called Green Book. As you can hear, the protests are ongoing. We are trying to speak to the security forces because they are part of the people and we want them to support us. They are now burning the cars. We would like to salute our people in Benghazi. They have led the way in this uprising. They have been the spark. We apologize for not supporting them much earlier than now. We are sorry. We would like to salute our people in Benghazi. They have led the way in this uprising. They have been the spark in all this. We apologize for not supporting them much earlier than now. We are sorry. God bless their martyrs and have mercy on them. We salute them. We will continue our struggle till we achieve victory.
We've also been hearing from a Libyan government newspaper editor. He's told Al Jazeera the protesters will fail in bringing down the government. He says the situation in Libya cannot be compared with Egypt.
I'm sure that the Libyan House will sit together and these matters will be determined in the coming hours. All attempts to gamble with the security and future of this country will be doomed to failure. There are those with hidden agendas, those who are spiteful and envious. We are